I'm so excited for episode 23 because this is a special episode. Not only do you get to see my face, but we're going to talk about the mid-year check-in for your 2018 as well as mine. So in case you haven't checked your goals list, your life goals list, whatever you had planned for 2018, we're at July now, y'all. So it's time to reset and recalibrate and go over the things that we want to accomplish, see what we haven't done yet, and see what we still have time to do by the time we reach the end of December, because that's like 5 months away. What? Yeah. So in case you all didn't know, this is your first time watching, this is Journey Through 30. I am your host, Tatianah Green, and I'm the author of the book Journey to 30. But in this series, we're talking about life and the journey through the decade of 30s, since I'm in my 30s myself. So definitely want to connect with you all and hear what you have to say about your personal goals, because we have the mid-year check-in. This is episode 23. I'm your host, Tatianah Green, and you're watching Journey Through 30. So I got a little bit of Mary Kay going on, and I got that new MAC from Aaliyah on my eyes and some mascara, call it a day. Also have the lip gloss too. It's so cute! So I wanted to put that on for you today. Plus I got my hair done recently, so I'm like, let me get on camera and do something cute for the people, because you all have been so supportive in listening to my podcast-esque videos, but now I'm doing a real video for you today so you can get I guess a visual experience, because I feel like people want video and people want podcasts, so it just depends on what you're into. But I don't mind trying something different as long as you can hear me, because again, I am recording outside, so it's mad real because we're in Chicago. Okay, so I wanted to talk about your personal goals and addressing those in the mid-year check-in. So the mid-year check-in basically is going over everything that you wanted to do at the beginning of the year in the middle of the year. If you want to count June as the middle of the year, fine. But now that we're over the hump of half the year, by diving into the second half of 2018, I think this is a great time to look at what your personal goals were at the beginning of the year and see if you actually checked off any of those personal goals. I don't have my goals list in front of me right now, but I can tell you there were some things that I wanted to accomplish that I have not done yet. And I don't want to get discouraged, to be honest with you guys, because I feel like there's so much to look forward to for the rest of the year. And sometimes when we feel like we haven't accomplished certain things by the end of a certain season, we feel like that's the only time we're going to get that chance to do it. But as I had a recent blog on my blog, blissforsingles.com, God gives us opportunities. He gives us God opportunities. And if we take advantage of those things and we're obedient and jump right into that thing, we can accomplish that goal and pretty much get our time back that we may have lost or may have gotten distracted by in the seasons prior. I've been one of those people who has missed a God opportunity because I was distracted or because I was just overwhelmed by all these other things that I was entertaining and not necessarily focusing on my God-given goals or my personal goals. So again, if you want to give it a practical spin, just take a look at what your goals list is that you wrote down. Maybe it's your vision board, so you have a visual goals list. Or maybe you have something that a promise that you wrote in your journal. Whatever the case is, let's revisit that and see what you have accomplished and be proud of every little thing that you have accomplished, even if it's one goal that you took care of. The whole rest of the goals that you have, you still have time, so don't beat yourself up. Second point I want to get to was assessing where you are. So yes, that's apart from the goals. Assessing where you are is literally taking a look at yourself and where you are in your state spiritually, emotionally, physically, and all those other factors in life that you may deem as a priority. So So let's say you've been working on physical goals, or you just want to be more physically in shape. We're all getting older, we're all getting wiser, we're all getting more refined, maybe a little thicker, maybe a little thinner, who knows? It's a good time to check your physical body. So maybe you have to set up a doctor's appointment, maybe you have to visit the dentist, maybe you have to go and change something with your hair. I don't know what the case is for you, but it's good to have a good assessment of where you're at in this year, because as seasons change, how we take care of our bodies change. There is a summer regimen for our skin, and there's a winter regimen for our skin. That's just an example, because I don't look this tan in the wintertime. I'm definitely paler. So it just depends, you know? And the same thing happens with our emotions. We also want to address where we are currently with our spiritual walk with God. So you may be in a season where you feel a shift spiritually and you don't know where that's going. You don't know what direction God is leading you in. All you can do is trust Him. That's where I'm at in this season. I just want you to know, to be encouraged. You're not alone, and you're going to get through this. And God is going to blow your mind. You have to speak life over your situation, because in your current state, you may not feel so encouraged. You may not feel like you have a lot going on. You may feel like you're behind, or you may even get some other form of discouragement from the enemy or from outside sources. But be encouraged, because this is the point where you have to decide that you're going to trust God regardless. I've been so in love with this verse from Psalms 37. It's good to read the whole thing, but definitely from, I think, the beginning half of that chapter, Psalms 37, is talking about dwelling in the land of God and just feasting on His faithfulness. And I got that scripture from a message I heard from one of the mentors in my head, Dr. Faith Wacoma, and she was talking about just dwelling in God's presence and recapping on all the things that God's been faithful to you about. So whatever He's done for you and been faithful to you about regarding this year so far, rehearse those things and remember that you still have so much time left in this year. God can do amazing things for you in this season and in the rest of this year. So just be encouraged in that. And whatever area of your life that you need to assess, just understand that it's only temporary. Seasons change. Good seasons change to difficult seasons, and vice versa. So always be ready for change. That's the only thing that we can rely on in regards to how these seasons go. But we have to trust God throughout every season. If you want to, you can also go over any specific prophetic words that you got over this year. A lot of times we go to the watch night service and we hear an amazing word about the whole 2018. And then we get to mid-year and we're like, Lord, remember what you said to me about that one thing? And it's not happening yet. I don't see it. I don't see no signs of it. You know, we serve an amazing God. We serve a God of the impossible. We serve a God who's also consistent and faithful to His word. Now, if you received a specific prophetic word from God and you haven't received it yet, or you haven't seen it manifest in your life, you got to keep the faith. And you got to revisit that prophetic word. You got to bring it to God. Like, God, remember this word? Can you give me some confirmation? Can you give me some answers regarding this? I have a concern. I'm being honest with you. You know, talk to Him in prayer and bring it up before Him, because He's concerned about that word too, because He's faithful to His word, and every word that comes out of His mouth is strategic and specific, and it's the truth. So He's not going to say anything to you that's not going to come to pass. So you have to hold on to that word, and also be mindful of, is that word specifically for you in this year? It may very well be something that comes along the line, like maybe a year or two later, who knows? But the point is, whatever that word is, revisit that, pray over it, bring it to God, and let it happen in His timing, because He's very faithful. He will follow through. Okay? Just because you haven't seen it yet doesn't mean it's not going to happen. This is regarding your goals, this is regarding your prophetic words, this is regarding a promise that you made to yourself, or a personal goal that you have yet to achieve because it's later down the line. There's some things that I want to do. I want to travel so bad, but I have a personal goal. I'm trying to save up to go out of town for my birthday this year, finally. And it sucks that I'm sitting on my hands trying to save money for this trip and not be so caught up in concerts and going to things that I could spend my money on, but I really need to save for the trip. So as much as I want to be a busybody and go to these paid events, I need to be focused and save my money up for the big goal and find free stuff to do in the meantime, because just because you going out and having fun don't mean you have to spend money, right? So there's always something that you can do regarding your personal goals, and if you haven't seen it yet, just trust God for it to happen, for it to manifest, for it to come through for you. I am a witness to that. Like when my 30th birthday came around, I had no idea where I was going to get the money for the venue for my party, and he showed up with a discount that week of the party. Like, he can do anything, so just trust God to follow through. Self-care is also a great thing to do for yourself in the middle of the year. Maybe it's a self-care thing that you haven't done all year long, and you're like, you know what, I think it's time that I get that pedicure, or maybe it's time that I get that haircut or do something different. Take care of yourself, because as we get older, we realize that we're going to be taking care of other people. But if we don't take care of ourselves, we won't have enough in us to give out to others. So replenish yourself, do what's positive, something positive for yourself that will help you, that's holistic and beneficial for your physical body, your mental state, and get away from social media, from TV, from media for a moment, and just chill, just get serviced. Don't worry about working. Just get served and feel better about yourself. So be careful not to dwell on the past. So like I said, last year I was traveling every month for most of the year. Like from May to September, I was on a plane going somewhere. But this year, not so much. So it's painful almost to think about all the places that I could go, that I would like to go, but I'm not going to be able to go because of the goals that I have. If you get caught up on what you've done last year, you really may miss the opportunity to take advantage of what you have going on this year. We always wanted to compete with ourselves only, not with anybody else. And I mean by competing, meaning that you want to do better than you did the year prior or the season before. So if I'm not traveling as much this year, that means I need to make the most out of my traveling opportunities when I do travel this year. Just because I went to more places last year doesn't mean I have to go to more places this year. That's just a random example, but whatever your example is, whatever your goal is from last year and you want to do better this year, don't overwhelm yourself and don't get down on yourself if last year it was popping and now this year is a little more tepid and you gotta be chill. Sometimes you just have to let God take care of you and you just rest in Him. There are some good things in waiting and resting and not getting so caught up in having to have something going on all the time. That's another lesson that I learned recently about just being okay with going with the flow, with God's flow, and not being caught up trying to do every little thing at once for attention or for fulfillment in something that's outside of Him. So that's an encouragement to you guys. Lastly, I want you to look at the rest of 2018 as a year that is half full. Half full, like the glass is half full, not half empty. Because some of us will be like, well, 2018 is over with, I might as well get ready for 2019. Like, no, you still have a good 5 months in here, okay? So make this time count. We don't know when our last day on earth is. So all we do know is that the present time is a gift. So we have to make the most out of it and not get too caught up in what we didn't accomplish so far. So I'm going to ask you to answer this for me in the comments below. So what are any goals that you want to accomplish by the end of 2018? These are 2018 specific goals here. For myself, I want to lay the groundwork for another book. I don't know when it will publish, but I want to lay the groundwork, meaning I want to have the outline, I want to have the date of when I want it done, I want to even have the cover, the book design in my head or written down somewhere. So that's what I'm sharing with you guys. It's exclusive, you know, and hopefully you all will have something that you want to do by the end of 2018 too. Because again, we have like several months literally to work with. So don't be discouraged at all. Keep pushing towards your 2018 goals, and in this mid-year check-in, you want to encourage yourself more than discourage yourself. So this was fun. I enjoyed doing this outside. I'm sorry if the cars got too loud in the video, but I'll try to do what I can to edit them out. But if anything, I want you guys to comment, to like, to share, and of course subscribe. So that lets me know that you want to see more videos. Share in the comments how you feel about this video. Do you want to see more of me in my face? Do you want to hear me and see me? And what do you all want to talk about on this journey through 30? Because there's so many topics to discuss, and I definitely want to hit all those subjects that matter to you. All right, so if anything else, just trust God in this process. 2018 is not over. Your life isn't over. You may be in a season where you're shifting into something different. Allow God to take you where He's taking you, and don't be discouraged by your list, by your vision board, whatever the case may be. Let God have His way in your life. All right, I've been your host, Tatiana Green, and you've been watching Journey Through 30. I can't wait to share the next episode with you guys. And if you need me, you can email me and put that in the description below too. And if you don't have my book already, Journey to 30 is an inspirational book for women, but men been reading it too. And you can definitely read that if you're in your 30s. All right, it's available at journeyto30book.com. All right, you take care and enjoy the rest of your 2018. Bye.